Hey, what's up guys, you got Crave here, and let's check out the new mouse pad, or relatively new mouse pad from Razer. It's the Strider Hybrid Mat. Now, it is a hybrid pad or mat, which means it's trying to capture the best parts of hard and cloth pads. Now, I've used it for about 2 weeks now, and overall, I think it does a pretty good job at it. So let's get into the details. There are two versions of this product. There is the XXL version, which is 94 centimeters by 41 centimeters, and the large version, which you're seeing right now, is 45 by 40. Now, it looks much darker compared to the last two hard mats I've used, which are the Firefly and Destructor. I no longer have my Steel Series or Corsair pads, and I can't really remember if their shades were darker or lighter than this Strider. The Razer branding is there on the pad, stitched to pretty close to one of the rounded corners. And about that, I really it's a personal thing, but I wish that they kept the darker and subtle branding color like in their other products. In any case, it's not like the brand right now when you look at it, it's not like it's shouting at you. So it is there, but it is a bit easy to ignore. On the stitching, I think Razer did this part pretty well. First is that it doesn't have that bulge that you might observe in other cloth pads, or at least it's not too pronounced. In addition, when switching over from a hard mat like my Destructor, it feels comfortable in case your wrist or the underside of your forearm touches that part of the pad. Even with the better edges from a hard mat like the Firefly, Strider still offers a better feel. Lastly, about that stitching, Razer claims on their website that it has this anti-fraying feature, but really only time will tell how long this hybrid pad will hold up to things like wear and tear. So it's something to check out in the long term. The underside of the pad is this rubber material, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the stickiest among all the pads or mats I've used. This just means it's going to be very stable in case you get, all too excited when gaming, or when your swipes have too much pressure that it might cause your mat to move. Now, improving the steadiness of your peripherals while gaming is always just a plus. Now, in terms of how it looks, it appears to be supporting the same pattern as my older pads, although they are different in terms of being obvious or being pronounced. Here is where I wish I still had my non-Razer pads so that I could do a full comparison, but these are the only mouse mats I have. For its thickness, Razer claims it is 0.3 centimeters, and it is thin when you compare it to a Firefly mousepad, but it is thicker when compared to the Destructor. Now, in any case, it doesn't appear to have any significant impact on gaming, but I will say that its thickness is something you feel when you roll it up. It sort of adds to the premium quality or the premium feel of the mouse mat. It doesn't feel like it just droops like my older Goliathus cloth pad. In fact, it's probably the main thing you will notice when you first take it out of the box if you buy the Strider. It just feels sturdy and pricey. About the surface, the Strider's polyester material has a very rough feel to it, which was actually surprising the first time I held it. One thing I'm thinking is of how it will probably affect the skates on my Viper and M42. I don't know right now, I've only used it for about 2 or 3 weeks, so it is something I still have to observe as time goes by. In any case, it was very different for me, like I mentioned. It was very rough, and mainly because I've gotten used to hard mats having that glide effect, and even my Goliathus cloth pad, or maybe even any other cloth pad I've ever used, was normally the quick or the speed variant of things. Strangely though, while the glide effect has been reduced in this Strider mouse pad, it's still there in spite of the additional friction feel. So basically being able to move my mouse is still smooth, but with the additional control feel. I like it. I don't feel like I'm being held down when moving across the pad. The one thing I have to really, in a way, maybe say, the one thing I want to mention, and I guess the one thing I have to adjust to, is making full use of the space available to me. The smallest version of the Strider is still bigger compared to the mats I've used before. I have to constantly remind myself that I can swipe further with this hybrid pad. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Strider mousepad review. It's a very nice, very premium feeling hybrid mouse mat. It definitely helps with the control aspect while offering the glide effect which is common to hard mouse mats. Thanks for checking this out guys, I'll talk to you soon.